Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 1st of 2018, and this is the Copy My Trades channel. On the Copy My Trades channel this morning, we're going to review a little bit of what we talked about last week, and then we're going to talk about some different opportunities for copying other traders. So last week we went over the 5 keys to copying good traders. How many trades do they make? Are they consistent in the long term and the short term for how many trades they do? What leverage do they use? That'll let you know what risk you might be facing. How long do they hold trades? If they're doing high leverage trades and holding them for a long time, there are extra costs involved that may not be showing up in their profit-loss ratios. What is their risk control habits? Do they hold losers for a long time through a big bunch of downtime or drawdown? Or do they cut their losses quickly? What are their risk control habits do they put a stop loss up underneath their profitable trades to protect that profit? And of course, you want to go through their history and see what are their biggest losses. And it's easy to find the traders to copy inside the One Broker platform, where we can go through. It's a new month, so we have a new list of successful traders here. We can go through and we can check to see what Gus has been doing in his trading over time. And so Gus is doing pretty good right this month, but maybe not so good overall. And we can go and take a look at some more of the top rated guys, open these in new tabs, and see what kind of consistency they have in their trades. How long have they been trading? And down here we can see how many trades they've been doing over time. We can go to the next guy. We can see he's brand new and doing some not bad. That's pretty good to keep that up consistently. How many trades is he doing? 37 trades in the last 7 days. So he just started at the end of July. Here's another guy with lots of down, well, not lots, 6.5%. He's only been doing 17 trades over the last several months. So it's easy to go through their profiles of these individual traders and get an idea of if you should copy them or not. But there is another way to go through the markets here on One Broker. Let's take the commodities, for example. And I am trading a bunch of silver and gold positions at 1-to-1 leverage, and I'm holding them at a little bit of a loss. We can see I am down 6.6% on my initial opening trade. Must have been in here somewhere. Let's see, the date is June 17th. So there's no cost for me to hold it, but it was at this bottom here that I probably put that trade on. It went profitable, and then I'm still holding it while it's down here, which is not very good for risk control. But at 1-to-1 leverage, there's no daily fees, so I can take this as a long-term position and just see if things are going to go my way over time. What I want to talk about in today's video is the opportunity to discover trading ideas by finding out what everybody else is doing. And so you can see here, silver, people are doing 50 times leverage, lots of high leverage trades here. And the only one that is profitable in a long position is Landfear. Let's take a look at this trade. And he's been holding this since July 20th, down into a bit of a loss, up, down into a loss. And he's still at a bit of a profit, so he really caught the bottom just beautifully at this time in July. And at 50 times leverage, he's paying those fees every single day. So while it shows right now that he's at 31.9% profit or loss, this doesn't take into account the fees that he's been paying on a 50 times leverage trade. So what I wanted to go over here is that look at what the crowd is doing and then do the opposite, because everybody is long here in this market. So we can go through all the different Forex markets, let's say US dollar, Canadian dollar, and take a look at what other people are doing. Lots of short positions and a few long positions. And then we can determine what the market might be doing by looking at what everybody else is doing in their trades. So over the 1 year, we see we're coming up to important support and resistance here. It's made a little internal 1, 2, 3 top formation and broken down below that. For me, this looks bearish in the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. And we can go through all these different Forex markets, and if you are familiar with the Great Britain pound and what it might be doing compared to the US dollar, then you can be doing some trades here. Let's go back and see what other people are doing. Discover the trading ideas. So kind of split here, where half the crowd is short and half the crowd is long. The great thing to do is to go to, say, the stock markets. Let's take a look at Apple. Discover what people are doing, and most people, it seems, are gone short on this trade. So if we take a look at the long-term 1-year Apple chart, it is at the top of an uptrend. So the trend is your friend, generally. But when you see a top formation in place, and it's not quite a good top formation, we have a high here, then a low, and it made new highs before coming back down. So a break down below these support and resistance levels would be bearish. But the trend is still up since 2016. And if you drew a line from these bottoms all the way along, and these charts aren't very good for doing that. Let's go take a look at Boeing. And it's also seems to be making a top formation 3 times at this top. This is a head and shoulders top formation now, especially if it does start to come down and break below the 330 level here. That would be very bearish. But we see that everybody who is trading this stock is bullish. Let's take a look at a few more. Let's take a look at Ford Motor Company. Facebook did a big move the other day. Let's check out Facebook. It made a massive drop. If we zoom back to the weekly chart, this was an unprecedented drop, and a lot of people got killed on that if they were long. And yet, the crowd of people is still long and holding those losses in their Facebook trades. So now somebody else has just gone long. As the market made these big drop down, they've jumped onto a long position. Very interesting to take a look in to see what other people are doing. Here's the 1-year view of Ford Motor Company. And so it has not been trending upward like the other ones we just saw. And it's making a big drop down below important support and resistance over the last year and a half. So that's pretty bearish here. Let's see what people are doing in their trades. Only one person is trading this that we can see, and they are indeed short. Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, the graphics card making company, Tesla Motors, Twitter, Visa. Let's take a look at some of these. So Netflix in the 1-year view has made a double top and has come down from that top formation. That's important to know what is going on in the general economy. If I zoom this out here, we have a head and shoulders top formation shaping up in Nvidia, which is surprising to me. I thought this would be showing much more strength than this. Well, it's a very short-term chart here, though, only since last October. So if we go to the 1-year view of Tesla Motors, they are also struggling to make new highs. Since April 2017, they've hit 3 times off this top, and now showing a little bit of weakness. Below this level would be bearish. So what are people doing here? The bears are holding some losses here. We have some longs holding some losses. Only a couple of these bears from quite some time ago, it seems. 14 times leverage. They've been holding their profit. So a really great way to look in to see what other people are doing in the markets you are interested in, to see if this is something you should be considering doing the opposite of. So here Twitter made a huge drop at the same time as Facebook, but it didn't just stop like Facebook did. It really continued down even more after that big drop that day. And I don't know what that was from, but we can see in hindsight this is a top formation with a descending pattern to it. So it may rally a bit, and if it comes up to these old support and resistance levels back here and then shows weakness, that would complete a massive head and shoulders top formation there. Let's take a look at, we got Visa incorporated here. Go for the long term. So it's been increasing and accelerating, but recently hasn't made a good enough top formation to really comment on. I'm going to go over to the S&P 500, and we can see that it's been doing really well, this Trump bubble, and now it's making a large potential 1, 2, 3 top formation, where we have the number 1 point. I'll go back to the weekly view. That's not long enough though. We need the yearly view zoomed in a little bit here. So in February, it made some huge sharp drops and rallied a little bit from there, and now it was not able to make new highs. So any weakness from here is definitely, for my trading pattern, a time to be watching for a short position in this. And what's everybody doing? Well, we have a whole mixture here just as a quick snapshot, but a lot of people are short and holding their losses. So 6.6 times leverage, Cool Hands Luke. Well, it's not a lot of people. Cool Hands Luke has done a whole bunch of different trades, and he's holding them at losses. Holding them at a loss for a long period of time here, which is not good for risk control rules, especially if these are copied trades. And we see Cool Hands Luke used to have a lot of copiers, but it's really plateaued out, and all of these copiers are holding these losses with him. And so he's made these trades, and he hasn't shown any losses in his trading history, but he's holding losses in these open trades. So we can go to his shared trades and see that he's holding losses and everything, and he's just not closing them because he doesn't want those to show up in his trading statistics. That's from May, March, February. And so if you're following him and you're paying those daily interest rates in holding these for a very long time. So it's tricky to find a good trader to follow, but really insightful to have the opportunity to go into all of these different charts and take a look to see what other people are doing. So if I go into, say, copper, for instance, and discover trading ideas, we have one guy who's trading it publicly at least, and he's been holding 20 times leverage trades for quite some time, and he's been holding it at a loss all the way along here. So this is very insightful to go into each of these markets and see where they are. And over the 1 year, this is at the lowest prices it's been since October 2017, when this was first listed here on One Broker. I'm also trading gold, and I'm holding a little bit of a loss at this one, 3.5%, 2.45%, likely the same as the other one. And it was right in here probably where I thought it was making the potential bottom formation and time to get in, and prices have slid off. And yet I'm holding these positions. I do believe that I want to keep these positions, though it would have been better to wait until now, of course, in hindsight. I'm keeping these positions because they're not publicly traded, and they're one-to-one leverage, so I don't have those daily fees. So I hope this has been helpful for you to dig into what other people are doing in each of these different markets. The Nasdaq, we can see it's at new highs, where the S&P 500 did not make new highs at this time, and it's not making a 1, 2, 3 top formation here. But if it does and it starts coming down, then this would start to be showing us a shoulder here, a head here, and we'd be watching for the right hand shoulder over the next while for the prices on that. And we could go through all of the stocks and really take a look at each one of these that are listed here to see how many of them are making a top formation that might be overall starting to show us Intel, Microsoft. Over the 1 year view, it's just brushing new highs here for Walt Disney, really just barely edging past the old highs from earlier in 2018. GoPro is showing lower prices all the way down here. We have a top formation showing up in Intel, where it's a 1, 2, 3 top formation and a big drop down just recently. Here's a shoulder, there's the head already proven itself by having the prices break below this number 2 point. So the more of these markets that we can see that are making top formations, this one's not making the top formation yet, but many of them hesitated here in early 2018, creating the left-hand shoulder, and many of them are making what could be the head in the head and shoulders top formation now. And the more of these we look at, the more we get the idea of what the overall market is doing. And this is the average of the top 500, and it's not making new highs like the Nasdaq is. So by watching all of these things, discover what other people are doing in their trading. So if we go back now to Intel Corporation, lots of people are long on this, so that tells me that I probably want to be short on this. GoPro, no trades on GoPro right now. And for DIS, what was that again? This Walt Disney Corporation, most people are long on this. Very interesting to dig into what other traders are doing in each of these different markets and get some perspective on it to decide what you're going to do for your own trades. So that's it for this episode. If you're interested in doing high leveraged Bitcoin trading rather than using Bitcoin to trade other markets, head over to onefox.io and set up a platform there. It's based on the very same structure as the One Broker platform, so that it's really easy to put on a trade. It's easy to go long or go short. Just as simple as that. Type in your number of Bitcoin that you want to do. You can have the sliding leverage here so that you can create a risk control platform that is going to be matching your personality. Thanks again for watching. Good luck in all of your trades.